Hello. This community briefing video is intended to provide you with information about a critical incident that occurred in the city of Norman. You're about to see relevant footage and learn about other details related to the case so you can have a better understanding of what occurred based on what is currently known. The Norman Police Department conducts very thorough investigations, which typically require detectives to interview multiple witnesses, view hours of footage, and analyze a significant amount of physical evidence. We are still in the early stages of this investigation, which can sometimes take up to a year to complete. And our understanding of the incident may change as additional evidence is collected, analyzed, and reviewed. Be advised, the content you're about to see may be disturbing. There may be strong language used by those shown in the video. Viewer discretion is advised, especially for young children and sensitive viewers.
On Sunday, March 28, 2021, at about 3:15 in the afternoon, the Norman Police Department received a call from a local resident in the area of 58th Avenue Northeast and Robinson Street. The caller advised that their residents had been struck by multiple rounds of gunfire, effectively pinning their family in the house as the gunfire continued. The caller advised that nobody had been injured at the time, and dispatch immediately sent officers to their location to render aid and make sure the family was safe.
As we were responding there, the victim on the phone actually called in saying that they were pinned down from more gunfire coming into the residence. We expedited our response, got there, and decided to, instead of stage, go straight to the victims so we could get them out to a secure location. When I got there, there were 3 other officers already on scene. We're loading the victims up to their vehicle. I got their information quickly from the vehicle window while the last person was loading up, and we sent them north to Robinson and 58th to stage with fire after making sure no one was injured. After that, we, as safely as we could, checked the residence that had been struck, and we found 5 bullet strikes into the residence, one of which had gone through the back door and into their grandson's bedroom, who was in the bedroom. At that point, we backed out to our vehicles to use them as a little bit more distance and cover because we could still hear gunshots going on in the distance. Several different calibers. We heard smaller calibers, what sounded like handgun fire, and then high-powered rifles.
Hey, can you watch on the other corner?
Yep.
Oh, that's another gunshot. Did you hear that?
Baker, when we have more gunshots going off.
That's 5, 6.
I was the shift supervisor that day. I was notified, so I started going out there also. Go to the scene, check out the bullet holes for myself, waiting on investigations to show up. We have 3 cars that are parked just a little bit north of the victim's residence. The guy is still shooting what seems to be from the north to the south in the area of these houses.
Hey, this is Lieutenant Savage, the Norman Police Department. Hey, if you're shooting guns over there, you're hitting houses over here off 58th. I need for you to call me back, or I need for you to stop shooting.
Typically, when investigations comes out, the scene's usually safe by then, so there's no real fear. So we usually just park next to the patrol cars. So I pulled up and stopped in my unmarked unit. By the time I got to those vehicles, that's when I heard the first volley of rounds go off. It was several. There was probably at least 20 rounds that went off while I was standing there. Waited for the shooting to stop. I made my way back to my car. As soon as I backed out and started forward, as soon as I cleared that house, I heard a round impact the passenger side of my vehicle.
All the houses south of this house we need to now clear because he's not stopping shooting. So they use a vehicle for cover, which the police car that they're using is not going to stop a rifle round or anything like that, but at least cover or conceals them as they're going, and it could stop some bullets of some sort. So they're using this vehicle to go down there and make sure all civilians are out and make sure the next couple of houses beyond the victim's house that's actually in the line of fire are clear.
We decided we needed to evacuate the citizens. Detectives had just arrived on scene before that, and when they arrived on scene, bullets started going over our heads and vehicles. We could hear them striking the trees, flying by our ears, the telltale sound that the bullet makes when it goes right by you.
Yeah, rounds just went over our head. What's up?
That was right the fuck over our head, boss.
I guess. Yeah, I'm back here behind my wheel well. Dude, he's still shooting. Get him out here and then I'll talk to him. It's not the fact that I don't need him. All right, see ya, bye.
Boss, you only moved to a different engine block, so you have an engine block.
Shit! I'm hitting my sirens.
So I turned on my siren, which that engages my lights overhead, and it's loud, and I let it run for a little bit. I turn it off, and I'm like, okay, he's done shooting at us, right? Maybe I scared him or something like that. Maybe he knows the police are here, and then all of a sudden, the volume of fire increases, and there are rounds hitting all around us, and I tell Hicks, we got to get out of here.
And at that point, we decided to tell the South team to secure where they were, and we were going to evac out of the area because we didn't have any good cover there.
So we go through the tree line and a fence, and we are using cedar trees as our concealment until the field opens up. And as the field opens up, we're approximately 150 yards, maybe 200 yards from our cars. And we look to our right, and there's a brick dwelling that's on the back side of the subject's property that has an elderly man going into the front door. Hicks and I try to call at him, sir, I need for you to come this way with us or something. Doesn't hear us. He goes in. And I was like, Hicks, we got to go over there and we got to get him. And we got to pull him out of that house and we got to take him back to 58th where he's safe. Hicks and I go over to this fence. I hold open the fence. Hicks crawls through. Hicks is now holding the fence for me. I'm trying to crawl through, and I get caught on my pants and on my vest as I'm going through. And I was almost through whenever he started shooting at us again, and bullets were hitting the ground in front of us, and they were going on each side of us. I could hear the whiz on each side of my head, which was crazy because Hicks is on my left. And as soon as we got on the other side of the fence, we went prone. I'm looking for whoever's shooting at us, but I cannot see them. And they're still shooting at us. And that is when I was like, this was done on purpose. Because we are almost 2 football fields from where our car was, or maybe a football field and a half. He had followed us all the way over here. And he didn't engage us when we were at the fence. He engaged us whenever our backs were to the fence, like we had already gone through. And you cannot, like, try to go back through a fence whenever somebody's shooting at you. So we're prone. I told Hicks, we got to move. We stood up, and we ran in the direction of the house towards the bullets that were coming at us. And I never could see anybody. Bullets were whizzing by us as we were running towards the house itself. And then I heard one hit something metal, either a car or maybe a fence post or something like that. But it made a loud ting sound as it ricocheted off of it and went someplace, I'm not sure where. Got to the house. I opened up the door. I told the people inside the residence that we're being shot at and you need to get out of the house now.
Hey, let's go. He's shooting at you now. Get out of the house.
Get out of the house.
Come on, quick.
Come on, man. They say get out.
Watch here, take traffic.
It was scary.
Yeah. Okay. The shots I heard sounded like they were right outside that window. And then just shortly after that, the door opened up and the officer said, you need to vacate this house now. So
We got it
I
together.
got up and got her and
Got
father-in-law,
my
and we
dad.
got outside. And they stayed on each end of the house. And I mean, they laid there. They did not
The
move.
whole 2.5
The
hours.
whole 2.5 hours.
They sat right there in that prone position with their eye on that gun and their hand on the trigger. When their phone would ring, they would reach it with their other hand.
They wouldn't even look back.
Yeah.
So
It was
That was
pretty
pretty
intense.
impressive.
It was intense.
We had the drone go up, trying to figure out where this guy was shooting from. And when the drone went up, it took his attention off of us.
Louis, talk. We got a drone in the air. Another dozen shots.
I think he's shooting at your drone.
We're clear. He does not have eyes on yet.
And he started shooting at the drone and going after that, which again gave us a little bit of a reprieve. That actually was able to fully redirect him away from our area for the most part after that. He was still shooting. He actually shot a little bit more towards the south team that was still stuck down there. But he had taken his attention off of us and the citizens, which was a very good thing.
Basically, we had these people protected on both ends, but we could not move. One of the individuals in the house was elderly. He had a cane. He had some health issues, and he could not move very fast. We are stuck, and we cannot move. So then I relayed it to the other officers responding where I was, and that we had 3 more officers down the road that also could not exfil from the area. We waited, and we waited what seemed to be forever for someone in an armored car to come get these 3 civilians and us out of the area.
He did that, I want to say 3 or 4 times. He called asking, could y'all get somebody up here? Because of my dad.
But it was still a long time after that.
About 2.5 hours.
We're just waiting for over an hour for, an armored car to show up to be able to pick up these people and safely take them back to an ambulance so that they can get treatment in a safe place.
They start coming down the road, and we got the citizens out first. Then they called for me to back up to them.
Kyle, let's go.
The sense of relief getting in that vehicle was immense. And then not just for me, but the citizens as well.
Okay, this is going to be hard for him to get in.
Okay. Get him in.
Medically help.
Yeah.
It was, just a crazy relief to everybody cramming into that armored vehicle, just trying to get out of there.
They put my dad in an ambulance to get him cooled down and put some oxygen on him.
Yeah.
And they asked us if we had some family to come get us.
Thanks.
Yes, thank you.
Getting us out of here.
I want you guys to know I thank you very much for protecting us.
Once the area was secured, officers, detectives, and negotiators began a lengthy process of attempting to make contact with the suspect. Despite numerous phone calls, texts, and public address efforts from vehicles, no contact was ever established. During the ensuing hours, sporadic gunfire occurred with decreasing frequency. After obtaining a search warrant for the location where the gunfire had originated from, tactical teams were able to use armored vehicles to safely approach the location to attempt to make contact. Multiple additional attempts to make contact and encourage the subject to surrender peacefully were made with no success. At about 11 p.m., while clearing the structure on the property, the suspect was located. As officers continued providing command requesting his peaceful surrender, a single gunshot was heard. Officers immediately entered the area and located the subject suffering from an apparently self-inflicted gunshot wound. Officers and tactical medics at the scene evaluated the injury and attempted to render aid. Unfortunately, the subject was pronounced dead at the scene. The location of the incident is believed to be the subject's residence. No other persons are believed to be involved in the incident. The ongoing investigation has verified 3 separate houses, a large workshop, an RV, and 2 vehicles dispersed over a large area sustained damage from the suspect's actions. Some of the structures sustained significant internal and external damage. The majority of the damage to the houses appeared to be focused on doors and windows, possibly further indicating the suspect's intent to cause harm to those occupying them.